Good morning to you. It is now Saturday, November 22nd at 12:14 a.m. Your Purdue Boilermakers have just improved to 6-0 on the young season after just absolutely smoking the 15th best team in America. The best thing about this season to me is we've had a chance over and over. I don't think I can give it a third over yet, but over and over to hear media types talk about how Purdue looks like they don't look the part as a number one team, and then Purdue just to smack them with their own words by destroying a highly ranked team. We've seen it twice already this season. By the way, Purdue wasn't coming off a loss either time. They were just coming off a win that wasn't good enough in the minds of many pundits. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about how much fun it was when this team caught fire. It was like, I'm trying to think of a Purdue team that has done this before where they have so many places where they can attack you, and I really can't do it, to tell you the truth. And if you've got an idea, you can try to give it to me. I remember a lot of Purdue basketball going back a long time. What am I saying? But if you remember a Purdue team that had more depth, more weapons, more ways to kill you than this Purdue team, I challenge you to bring them up during this very podcast. Before I dig into it, before I talk a little bit about what happened in the Bahamas tonight, let me thank our sponsors. Thanks to our pals at Home Field Apparel. Head over to homefieldapparel.com. Grab a t-shirt, a sweatshirt. They have a 30% off deal for Black Friday from now until next week. Take advantage of it. Check their Twitter feed for details on that. But seriously, that's a good deal. That's better than our old discount that we don't get anymore. And also, when you've just watched your Boilermakers put it together and absolutely destroy a team, what do? Well, you probably sprint. You sprint towards the fire station out of Mackey Arena. And when you get to that fire station, don't slide by like a cartoon character. No, turn left. Take a hard left and look at the blue and black lights over there. That's AJ's right there. There it is. The thing that I've been talking about for years. There it is. It's like a dream. It's appeared here. Go inside. Make the dream come true. Enjoy some delicious meats, some cheeses, some mixed drinks, a pint, whatever. And then the service is going to be good to boot. It's going to be just as good as you've dreamt if you've never been. Go to AJ's. EatAJ's.com. Burgers, beef, beer. AJ's. It's a 5-minute jog from victory. All right. So what happened tonight? Here's what happened tonight. Toppin is a really good player for Texas Tech. Really good. Like National Player of the Year type guy. All-American last year. Coming in preseason All-American like Braden Smith. And he wasn't the best big. He wasn't the second best big. He was the third best big on the court tonight. Because first, CJ Clough, pardon me, did I just say CJ Clough? Oscar Clough, there we go. Oscar Clough absolutely reminded us how good he can be. We had been seeing signs of it. We had already seen glimpses, but tonight we saw the full weaponry that is Oscar Clough. He beat Toppin multiple times in the block. He would feel where Toppin was leaning, and then he would go the opposite very quickly. His spin move is unbelievably quick. And remember, this dumbass talking right now said this guy doesn't look too comfortable yet. Just a week and a half ago, all of a sudden, Clough, I like to call him CJ Clough, Clough looks the part and is playing the part. Absolute beast on the boards. I think it was 15 and 15. I'm going to dig into the stats in a minute. But the thing that's wild, if you look at Purdue's stat line, is how many guys got involved and how important they were, but how they didn't need to be the only story. It's pretty incredible. Another thing that's going to be really interesting is the minutes that were played tonight. We're going to talk about that. I guarantee you there's a surprise there, and I'm excited to talk about it. Also, like I said, third best big man on the court. TKR, it was awesome. He started the game as the big of note, right? He was destroying all Texas Tech comers. It didn't matter if it was Toppin or somebody else. He would clear people away to say, yep, if they're gonna guard me one-on-one, I'm gonna beat this guy's ass. And he did. He would back him down using strength. He would use spin moves, and so much fun to hear the Purdue faithful chanting TKR, and they see him just nodding, right? The one downside is TKR, now that he has some help, he doesn't really care about not picking up his fourth foul. So he was uber aggressive deep into the game. Didn't really need to be at times. Purdue was up by 30 at the point when he picked up his fourth with 13 minutes left. I mean, very similar to last night in his foul count. The funny thing is the ref that picked on him last night that called the tech was there tonight. And if you notice this, TKR tried to kind of make nice with him in the first half and went up and patted him on the shoulder and said, "I love you," or something. I don't know what he said. It didn't work, by the way. It didn't work. If you look at the foul count in Bahamas, it's wild. Purdue is the only team that fouls a lot, and TKR is the foulingest guy of all. Purdue wins one of the ugliest trophies I've ever seen in the Bahamas. That's another thing. I don't know if you got to see it. It is atrocious. I'm sure Boiled Sports. I'm sure Boiler Ball, gracious, learn to speak, Dowd. Boiler Ball will post some pictures of Purdue receiving the trophy. I got to watch the post game. That's kind of why I waited a little bit longer to do post game, because I watched the guys receive the trophy. And Clough, it was funny. He sounded nervous. He did not sound like his normal self, to me, at least. Very excited about where he was, talking about how happy he was to be in the position he's in with this team. Really neat to see. But like I said, the trophy is as rinky-dink as the tournament. I'm going to call it what it is. It's one of the worst run tournaments we've seen. It's great that Purdue won. Here, let me bring some facts before I get into the stats. Okay, Purdue has now won 5 straight holiday tournaments. And here are the wins. North Carolina, Villanova, West Virginia, Gonzaga, Duke, Gonzaga, Tennessee, Marquette, NC State, Ole Miss, Memphis, Texas Tech. Those are teams that were ranked. Almost every one of those teams was ranked. You got number 18, number 5, number 6, number 8, 11, 7, 4, 23, and tonight, number 15. And Purdue just absolutely leveled Texas Tech. I love Texas Tech's coach. I love their coaching staff. I love how old school and tough they are. They were on their players early for not playing with intensity, and it didn't matter what they did tonight. Purdue was not going to allow Purdue to lose. Purdue was coming just from all angles. It was so much fun to watch. It's one of the most dynamic Purdue wins I've ever seen. I'm 50 years old. I've been a Purdue fan my entire life. My dad's a Purdue alum, so I was pretty thoroughly brainwashed when I was young. I watched a lot of Purdue basketball, and that was a thorough ass kicking against a very good team. We don't need to discount who Texas Tech is to enjoy this. That's one thing I want to stress, that Toppin is still one of the best players in America. Texas Tech is still one of the best teams in America, but they played the best team in America. And they played many All-American looking guys. Let's talk about those guys right now. So Toppin finishes with 15 points and a total of 8 boards. Okay. Purdue out-rebounds Texas Tech. So this is the secret sauce for Purdue. When they get nasty on the boards, really good things happen. Purdue out-rebounds Texas Tech 43-25. How do they do it? Well, Oscar Clough leaves everybody, but some call him CJ Clough. 15 points, 15 boards, 7 of those were offensive boards. And Purdue kept possessions alive. Purdue slammed possessions shut because of the way they rebounded. There was only one real bad possession I can remember where Purdue did not get on the glass, and it was very late in the game. I'm not sure if it was versus or against Purdue's ones and twos or their threes. I can't remember. Purdue had the victory cigars, the human victory cigars, in the game for quite a bit tonight, which is great to see. Great to see those guys getting minutes. Okay, so Clough leads the way in a very limited action. TKR has 12 points and 6 boards. Let's see, on shooting, maybe 6 of 9. Clough was 6 of 8. Cox was 4 of 8. Smith was 4 of 7. Lawyer was 3 of 8. Jacobson was 4 of 4. Homer Meyer was 5 of 8. So that's the other thing. You don't have to rebound all that much when you make so many shots. Purdue shoots 59% from the field, 57% from deep. Let's see, who was the guy who led the way there? You could say it was Cox, Smith, or Lawyer who all had two 3-pointers. Nobody really lit the world on fire from a shooting standpoint, right? It wasn't like Purdue was propelled by an absolute barrage of threes. That wasn't it. It was Purdue shot well. Purdue played more intense. Purdue's defense was stifling. In the first couple minutes, Texas Tech was getting good looks from deep. Who's their guy? Atwell. Atwell started the game. I think he started 2 of 2. He finishes the game 3 of 9 from deep. And that came from Purdue just making it difficult. And Purdue was in their head at about the 10-minute mark in the first half, and Purdue just didn't let up. Purdue was up by 25, 27 points in the first half. They win by 30, even with having the benches cleared at the end of the game. Just an incredible performance. I don't know what more I can say about that. Purdue had 19 assists. Very unselfish brand of basketball. You love to see it. You love to see guys like Braden Smith diving for loose balls, making things happen, absorbing charges, doing the hard things, right? That's what's the culture of this team, because they keep reloading with guys that get it, that buy into the fact that it's not just about scoring, it's about process. It's about playing really hard. I'm watching a commercial with Mark Pope, and I don't know why, walking down a Kentucky road. I don't know why he would be on a commercial right now. Not on my TV, but he is. Here we are. Let's see who else. So the starting 5 all finished. This is the interesting thing. With about 10 minutes left, it looked like the starting 5 is all going to have 10 points. That's pretty cool. It's pretty unusual. But you have TKR with 12, Clough with 15, Cox with 10, Smith with 10, Lawyer with 10. That's cool. It's really cool, especially as efficiently as they played. But then the cherry on top, Jacobson finishes with 11 and Meyer finishes with 11. Nobody, and here's the minutes that really got my attention. Nobody on Purdue's team played more than 28 minutes. The guy who played the most minutes was Braden Smith with 28 minutes. And then everybody after that, pretty far off. Cox had 25 minutes. Lawyer played 24. The two bigs, 21 and 20 in TKR and Clough. Jacobson in relief duty played 19 minutes, and Omer Meyer played 20. That's a hell of a game. So Purdue will get a break, for a week now, I think, until Friday. I think that's right. Yeah. Yeah, they'll play Eastern Illinois on Friday, right after Thanksgiving, right before your Purdue football Boilermakers put us out of our misery. I'll be there. I'm hoping to be at the Eastern Illinois game. I don't have tickets yet. So many of you are here. And this is a lot of comments, and I'm going to try to respect the comments and at the same time not read all of them. It's just too much. And I can't take looking at Mark Pope on my TV. I can't do it right now. Sorry. So I got to change the channel. There we go. All right. Broxton Davis is first here, and he reminds us of Caleb in doing so. Nate Dolance first also. Let's see. Do we have the goofy numbers? We do. The goofy numbers are still here from YouTube, but Broxton Davis doesn't have goofy numbers. Congratulations. I think it's because he has numbers in his name, so there's no numbers on the end. I don't understand what's going on with YouTube and the usernames. Real Briggs, Marshall Briggs says hello. Adam Pomfret is here. Good morning to you as well. Joe Inslee says that was fun. It was, one of the things I love about college sports, when Purdue does this, when I get surprised, I love it. I was not surprised that Purdue played well or beat Texas Tech. I was surprised the manner with which, or how they beat Texas Tech. The way they stifled them so badly, the way they just absolutely destroyed them is the thing that got my attention. It's a whale of a game. So I guess I was a little surprised today, and it was a fun surprise. Olive D. Jazzer, hot dog. I don't know what that means. M3 Adjuster, Boiler Up. Let's see. I'm going to get down here. Greg McManus is here, and he encouraged me to grab my Boiled Sports Rocks glass. It's in the dishwasher. I only have got one. The reason I only have one, my wife broke the other one. She didn't mean to, but I had two. So there's no special treatment here. Many of you are in the same boat as me that ordered the rocks glasses. There are no more. We are not making any more at this point. We have no plans of it. They were shipping them, was an absolute mother. Jay did all that. But no, we don't have any plans. So if you've got one that's still working, it's great. Anish, I think, broke 2. Actually, I think he got a bonus one because he broke 2. I'm almost positive that's the case. Let's see. Kruder Schmidt says Aussie, Aussie, Aussie. It is Oscar Clough's best game as a boiler. I think we're going to see more. He looked confident. And boy, he loves ripping the ball down. The Dog 33 says, Clough finding a body and boxing out every single possession really wears on teams. Honestly, I think TKR learned from him in the offseason. The intensity that TKR attacks the glass, the way with the intensity he does that, that's new. That is, I agree. Something was triggered there, which is funny because you would think that TKR learned a thing or two from Big Zach. And he did, but now it's like this ferocity with which both these guys attack the glass, and they're not alone. Smith has always been a guy who likes to rebound. Smith finishes with a very pedestrian 10, 7, and how many boards? Oh, shoot. No blocks. Just one board? Is that right? That's crazy. Smith only with one board, but 10 and 7. 10.7 assists. But there were multiple plays where you saw 2 or 3 Purdue guys attack the glass and either almost knock the ball off each other or almost get traveling called because they both grabbed at the same time. So got to work on the communication. Big time boiler. My buddy Grant says Oscar Clough equals a Boilermaker. Yeah, tonight I think he officially becomes one. I think he was one, but yeah, I get your drift. Marshall Briggs has a very good point. AP will drop Purdue to number 6 on Monday. Should have hit 100. Absolutely. Yeah, only 86 points. Really, really weak. And let's not forget. Memphis really gave them all they wanted. So that's going to be. Michael JB, a lot of numbers, says 23-3 run to end the first half. Game over. It absolutely. School was out then. Everybody on Texas Tech sideline knew that. The 5 Texas Tech fans knew it as well. Purdue showed out in the Bahamas. Purdue's fans were awesome. The TKR chant was really cool. But the fact that you just had absolute Caribbean Mackey Arena happening down there was so cool. So cool to see. Wish I would have been there. Zachary Welch says, Texas Tech reminds me a lot of Purdue last year. JT is an incredible player. If the supporting cast can coalesce around him, they can really improve, win some games. I think they're better than Purdue was last year this time. I just think they're more complete than Purdue was last year at this time, which says a lot about how good this Purdue team is. But Purdue had real work to do. Let's not forget that. Purdue got shellacked by Marquette. They got beaten in the end of the game versus Texas A&M. Just got out toughed. They got absolutely worked by Auburn, and I think I'm missing one. But yeah, Purdue was in a rough spot last year at this point. Let's keep going. Karen Grulock says, "I love flamingos." Team Fletcher, have a great weekend. Happy Thanksgiving. I think that's it. She just came in, checked in. She's heading out. Vortec says, I really enjoyed Cox popping off to start. Yeah, Cox really rose to the occasion. Kevin, PhD, he's a doc, says it was 26-23. Then Purdue went all the dude from offering up heart sacrifices to Kali in Indiana Jones. Kali in Indiana Jones, the Temple of Doom. Yeah, I know that scene. It was a lot for me. I was a young lad when I watched that the first time, but yes, it's true. Tark Shark says Oscar the Monster. I think he earned that tonight. Michael JB says Clough showing. I think we're going to be in accord here about Clough. Let's see. Joe Inslee says Clough averaged 13 and 11 in the Bahamas, channeling Zach Edey. Too bad he's not 5 inches taller. Absolutely. It's weird because you watch the game and you say Clough was absolutely dominant. Whatever, pick a player. Lawyer, absolutely. Lawyer, his stat line yesterday was pretty good with 20 points. But we're going to have a lot of this year where the stats are going to keep the perception down. Meaning if you don't watch Purdue, I guess the scores, if Purdue does this to every good team they play, and they really show them up like they did Alabama and now Texas Tech, you're going to have a pretty good perception of the team. But the individual effort, I think people are going to be like, well, I thought Braden Smith was supposed to be player of the year. And so that's kind of the cost of having a team that's so good and deep and has so many weapons. So I'm not Nostradamus here and it keeps TKR or Braden Smith or even Clough off of All-American list. I hate to get the cart in front of the horse, but we can start talking about that. They look that good. But you're not going to you're not going to have huge numbers. 15-15 is a great night. We've now seen that twice, right? Because I think TKR had a very similar night. So Kyle Seago says 30-point win, no starters with more than 30 minutes, 7 players in double digits. Facts. I'm going to scroll down. Yigzat says Clough was absolutely dominant. Great game, and this team is scary and when it's running on all cylinders. I think this team has the attention of anybody in the Big Ten right now. I mean, any coach. Maybe not. I don't think fans really get it yet. That's okay. And I don't think the media gets it either because they show their ass. Let's see if they do it again. When Purdue beats whoever by 15 or 17 points. And it's not that impressive. And they're going to say, I don't know. Are we going to keep having this? Are we going to go through this all the time? I guess we are. Nate Cunningham says the depth of the scoring tonight was really fun to watch. Big three don't have to be heroes all the time. No, it's much bigger than a big three, isn't it? I think the thing that's wild is it's a big three, but when Smith's off the court and Meyer's running the point, he can damage teams. And he did it tonight. And the big three does not include Oscar Clough, and he can damage teams. And CJ Cox can damage teams. And we haven't really even seen, by the way, I'm not going to forget about him, but Jagari Harris can still fill it up. And I'm not leaving the guy for dead. I can't wait until he shows up and shows out and not even Purdue fans see it coming. Because I'll be like, dude, I was here all the way. By the way, Jack Benner can damage teams. And he has. TJ Toppin showed how frustrated he was. Middle of the second half. He earned a flagrant one because he went through Benter and kind of came up and got Benner in the chin. The funny thing is Benner's not a little guy. And it showed how big and strong Toppin is. But that was really a frustration foul at the whole situation. It wasn't at Benter setting that screen. Beautiful screen, by the way. Beautiful screen. But we don't have to talk about just the big three. That's my point. It's much bigger than the big three. Shane Hinkle says, can't thank fans enough for making such a huge difference in this tournament. Kudos to all fans who really pumped our boys up. Thank you all for making the trip and sounding amazing on the air. Yeah, I agree. Purdue fans were awesome. And it made a huge difference. And the players talked about it, especially yesterday, how that was just gasoline. It was jet fuel. It was bigger than that. Let's see. Matt Keller says CJ Clough. Yeah, see, that hurts. You don't have to bring it back up. I already said I made a mistake. No, you should bring that up. I'm a fool. Let's see. Tark Shark says Cookie Monster Oscar. Yes. I think Cookie. Who said that? Blackman said that, didn't he? No, he called him Oscar the Grouch. And I wonder. The funny thing is, Oscar's clearly not a grouch, so I don't know if that'll stick. But he called him that on the radio broadcast. I was saved from Kyle Macy by listening to the Varsity app. I suggest all of you download it. All of you. Go get the Varsity app. Listen to Blackmen and Buckets. It'll save you a lot of heartache this season. Just do it. Just go do it. Need to be in verse says, I got chills when the crowd started chanting TKR and he was waiting to inbound the ball, totally nodding, locked in. Incredible moment. Yeah, it was really cool. Team Mel says November champs. By the way, that's what we say. Is that? Yeah. Back to back to back to back to back. November champs. And I made a sticker of that in kind of making fun of Purdue peaking in November, the idea of being November champs before they went to the Final Four. It was just back to back to back. Well, now those November championships kind of look like a team that's just well prepared, well coached, right? Let's see. Let's get I am Saluki. Says, I love our balanced offense tonight. So many ways that Purdue can whoop their opponents. I'm going to scroll way down here. Boiler Angle says, great game, but please God, leave Ric Flair wooing in the Bahamas. Makes me lose my mind. I couldn't hear it. So that must have been a thing. I don't know when that was a thing. You guys can tell me what I was talking. Gamer Dad says, I assume Texas Tech is much better than Purdue made them look tonight. They are. Texas Tech's a pretty good team. They're a really good team. If you watched them last year in the Big 12, they're really good. Really well coached. They're a very, very good team. Let's see. And it just went blank. Double D Sports says, we're jacking, bro. Yeah, absolutely. We're jacking. That was fun. Good stuff on Twitter. Anish Ramaswamy says, I only broke one glass. How dare you? I apologize for the mischaracterization. Anish, you deserve better. Please forgive me. And I told you, Mrs. Boiler Dowd also broke a glass. So you're in good company. Sean Miller, the coach of Texas, is on here saying Benter is the man. It's great for him to say that. Tell Cam we said hi. Let's see. Random Hero says, how about boiler suits in every Tech huddle? Love those guys. I think they're incredible. I'm going to be real honest. The boiler suits, incredible. And the reason I think they're incredible, I don't know how they have this much money. I don't know if it's a publicly funded entity. I don't know how they do it. I believe they did a bio on them at some point. I saw it or read it, and they're engineers. I know engineers make good money, but mercy, these guys, they're everywhere. They go to everything, and they're in the front row. I mean, I don't even know if Jay Money could afford those sort of things. I know he can't. He doesn't. He isn't at everything. He isn't. So hats off to those guys for spending all their many, many monies. Thomas, let's see if I can do this. Wichlinski, I did it. I nailed it. Says Memphis needs to find some better assistant coaches. That shot from Wake should have never happened. If they missed the second free throw on purpose, time would have ran out. That's not the only thing they did. And Anish knows that I make fun of Penny Hardaway a lot because he's a horrible coach. He showed how bad of a coach he was multiple times in the closing minutes, not calling timeouts just to get his team together because they didn't know what to do. There were so many. If you go back and you watch the final, you could even go back before the final 2 minutes, the final 5-7 minutes, he really got out coached. I mean, that was embarrassing stuff. But yeah, let's get down here. See if anybody I didn't. T Campbell says Purdue's Ken Palm D went from 50 to 21 tonight. How about that? So that's a big deal. It's crazy that it went up that much. So that means Purdue was ranked 50th in the Ken Palm defensive ranking, and now they're 21st just in one game. That's incredible. C. Jeff Stewart says the full Clough. That's the nickname he's trying to push there. There's a lot of ways you can go with this. I was calling him the Big O, and I know that's taken, but I'm not going to say the rest of what I was going to say. Let's see. Greg Mick says Jay is more of an old money attitude, not showy. That's a good point. That's Greg McManus. I don't know what's up with your username. I have no idea how you got your name stolen from you. Now you're just Greg Mick. I can see your little tiny picture on my screen. So sorry, Greg. Yeah, he is old money. He's not that guy. He's gonna wear nice clothing, not clothing with branding on it, right? He's that guy. I agree. So Clough the Magic Dragon says Yigzat. So you guys can continue to talk amongst yourselves and in the comments about what Clough nickname comes next. Let's see. J Boiler 8686 says, does anyone notice how Meyer is getting his shots? How do you stop that? This is the problem. And this is what I talked about when I watched Meyer in international play. He can be blanketed and he can still get shots. Let alone his ability to make open threes, because teams they don't know how to defend him, right? There's too many other guys they have to respect. So they sag off him after he gets rid of the ball if he's playing point, and then he hits a wide open three. If they're going to leave him open, that's trouble. But when they're all over him, he has an incredible ability to create space when there is none, when he is just absolutely blanketed. He's amazing. So, yeah. That's a good point. Joe Inslee has a great point. I got to read it. The best part about of what happened tonight is that we don't have football and we can enjoy the rest of the week. And I agree. It's kind of a weak slate, though, right? It's not the best college football weekend by any means. So you're right. Right now, Coach Odom's former Rebels are playing Hawaii. So it looks like it's I don't know where it's being played. Yeah, it's at UNLV. So, yeah, so that's about it. Thanks to everybody who tuned in. Sorry I didn't get to everybody, but I also said I wanted to get these down to 20 minutes. And look what I did. 29.52. So I failed. God bless you. Hammer down. Your Boilers are 6-0, and they now have a 6-day break? So that's great. Let's enjoy our weekend. God bless you. We'll see you. Hammer down.